It's already end of April, and with that we get a new teaser for the newcomers of May 2024. And there's actually a big surprise this month coming up, so stay tuned for that. I'm Gacha Gaming, let's get right into this. Before we talk about a big surprise, I just want to go through the units that are teased here. Then we go through the content calendar, and then I talk about the hint, teaser, whatever you want to call it, and what it potentially means, because it's, again, really pumped. So we're starting off with a welfare Amy, that's whatever. But of course, the first big unit here, pullable unit, is Detective Komekkos. There was actually a big teaser in the Japanese version, live stream for the 3rd anniversary, where we teased the detective units, which was really cool. And they look really good. I like the designs quite a lot. I think it's cool to make detective units. As you can see in the background, there's also Detective Lisa and Detective Mia, and also Detective Yunyun that you can not see here for sad reasons, but she's there and they will all be coming. Good news here is, of course, these are permanent units. So you can grab them in 4-star tickets, you can grab them later, you don't need to go too deep for them. And with that, we actually mark the end of probably the toughest time period of Konosuba Fantastic Days, because from that point onward, all future units will be more or less either be some kind of forbidden or festival character, right? But they rerun every 3 months, so that's pretty cool. Limited units have most of the time now a more niche case or a more specific case, aka if they work really well. But of course, if the arena doesn't give the right circumstances, then the unit just doesn't work that great. And I think that's really good, because that means from now on people may have more options to actually skip limited units, because they are not that great in general. I'm like, yeah, you need to grab the unit, it will be mandatory for all arenas. It's like, oh cool, this upcoming unit is great for this specific case, and in that specific case you really want to use the unit. But if the arena is any other case, and again, we have physical arenas, we have magical arenas, we have single target, we have AoE arenas, we have hybrid arenas. That's like 6 different arena types, right, already. So if a unit only works in 1 or maybe 2 out of the 6 cases, is it really that important to grab the unit? You know what I mean, right? But let's start off with Komekkos real quick, and let's take a quick look in the tier list, because again, tier list is updated. I will make an updated tier list once we know what is coming after these units. So for now, this is still up to date. You can see, for example, Komekkos is actually in the meta units on Elemental tier list, because she is probably the best wind rush rate unit we have right now. Like, let me just open up the Encyclopedia real quick to show the kids, because I just forgot to open that, I'm sorry. But the cool thing about her is she has a double hit that I think provides Gacha. Let's double check here. There she is. No, just a double hit, but you know, 206% damage times 2, that's a 412% damage multiplier on 90 seconds cooldown. And the second skill is a single target tier 2 rush rate. And I think that just pretty much means she has higher damage than Kazuma. She has the same rush rate. For single target, of course, Wisp will still be better in AoE, but for single target, she's really good. And of course, she works really well with magical wind units like Fastrin, for example, Fast Yellow, and just fits better in there, because you can either use her to buff your team with her ulti 1 version 1, you can use her to debuff the enemies, which also works great. And with that, I think Kazuma's time to shine is now really over. She's just that good. But again, she's a permanent unit. Let me scroll down a little bit and you can see it. She's a permanent unit, so you don't need to go deep into her, but she's still a great pickup if you can get her. Especially if you have like still 4-star tickets left or something like that. Feel free to use them here. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. Okay, let's take a quick look at the next units. And the next units are what I think is really pork. One of my favorite skin lines, if you can call it, are the maid Neko. So again, Japanese has a lot of culture with shrine maiden girls that have the beautiful outfits, and for whatever reason they decided to top that up and actually make them cat shrine maidens. So Miku Nekos, I think it's the right term, and it's really cool. We of course get Yunyun, one of my favorite waifus, so that's really happy. We are getting Chris as a pullable unit, and we are getting Aqua as the welfare. So you know, two out of my favorite waifus already getting the outfit. Kind of sad that Aqua is of course not pullable, but of course that means for me one less unit you need to worry about getting and obtaining. So happy with that. Great to see them, and you know, Aqua can still in the future get a 4-star copium, right? I'm happy for the skill line to finally be here in global. But let's take a quick look what the units can actually do, and that also explains a little bit more what I mean with units aren't mandatory all the time. Let's start off with, I think Yunyun is the best example here. We go down, I think here, there should be us. Yep, there she. They are limited units, but as you can see clearly here, she's a full AoE unit. She has AoE Rush Red. She has AoE Magical Defense down tier 2. She has both times HP conditions, so she's amazing in AoE area, especially if like Forbidden Whiz ulti is up and you use 2 AoE skills into 4 enemies and just proc the bonus damage. Yunyun's ulti is also AoE of course and can proc the Whiz damage a few times. This is amazing to have there. She's really good. But of course, we also have, for example, Ochiva near, who's still valid. We have the new Chris that's coming out. That's also, you know, potentially pretty good. But this shows just what I mean with more specific units. She's great for AoE arenas, especially for mage teams. I think in a physical arena, she of course has no chance. In a hybrid arena, I think she can still probably shine, but she's mostly just mage AoE arenas or maybe hybrid AoE arenas. So any type of physical arenas or any type of single target arenas, she will just not see use. And again, this is a thing that you need to keep in mind. Most of the arenas that we are getting are tied to the new unit. So unless there's a new unit that's also AoE Earth, there probably will not be many AoE Earth arenas. And if there's a new AoE Earth unit, then you probably want to have the new AoE Earth unit for that new arena, because the arena is probably dedicated to get you to use the specific unit. And that just means I will pull for her because she's my waifu, but meta-wise, I don't think she's that pog. She's strong, she's really strong in her specific niche case, but again, it's a niche case. So do you really want to say she's top meta unit if there's like 1 out of 6 cases where you actually want to use her? I don't think so. That's why I actually decided to place her in, you know, the strong units here. She's great for that specific thing, but not all the time, right? Okay, second unit that we want to talk about is of course then Chris. Again, more details in the upcoming banner guide videos for them, where I potentially talk about new upcoming Earth units and stuff like that. She is a random skill that provides a tier 1 EX Earth damage buff, which is pretty pog, not gonna lie. And her second skill is an AoE skill with HP condition that provides a tier 2 agility boost. So again, great speed boost unit. Has a pretty hybrid kit. She didn't see that much use, surprisingly. But again, I think it makes sense to some extent. The fact that her personal damage is not that great. I mean, both skills do pretty mediocre damage. So in an AoE arena, the double hit doesn't do that much. In a single target arena, her E skill doesn't do that much. So either case, she's not perfectly traded for that. She of course is a physical unit, so you kind of want to use her in physical teams, and right now our Earth physical team is not that great. Maybe she has more use case on the global side for that, but I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't bet on it that way. I still think she's a strong unit. I actually put her in the same tier as Yunyun, aka the strong units tier. But again, I don't think she is a must pull unless she's a waifu, of course. I don't think she has that amazing kit where I'm like, oh boy, you need to grab her or you're locked out of Earth Arena forever, like Forbidden Whiz was, for example, right? If you didn't have Forbidden Whiz, you're kind of screwed. If you don't have her, it's totally fine. Sure, you will maybe have trouble 1 or 2 Earth Arenas, but that's pretty much it. And especially for free-to-plays and low spenders, is it really worth to pull for a unit that has maybe 1 or 2 use cases? No, that's what we did before. So you're finally back at that time, right? I think that's really, really cool. Okay, with these units out of the way, let's check what else is coming this month, and you will see something really surprising. That's it. There are no more teasers for me. That's 2 banners, 2 units. What could that potentially mean? Well, if we take a quick look at the content calendar that's coming up, you will see at the bottom 2 coming soon. That's right, boys. Collaborations are back. Collaborations are finally back.
An air duct.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
To lower expectations here, we have no clue so far what the collaboration will be. Our current prediction is that we are actually getting Shield Hero based on time slot stuff like that. But of course, it could be something different. And doesn't really matter. The fact that we are getting collaborations back is already like poggies, dude. It's so hype. It's so cool. I know so many people who will be happy. And to be honest, starting off with Shield Hero is probably not the worst case. Because on the one side, we are finally getting collabs back. That means other collabs should come in the future. I talk about timeline-wise and stuff like that in a second. And for people who are like, oh damn, another banner that I want to pull and stuff like that, meta-wise, I think Shield Hero is just outdated. You don't need to pull on this banner for the units for pure power. If you are a collector, of course, you want to grab them. And if you are a real collector, you probably spend anyway, right? So it doesn't really matter too much. But for free-to-plays, you still have a good shot of just skipping the collab, or, you know, grab your free pulls, maybe do a few YOLO pulls, see what you can grab, and just be happy with what you have, right? So in that regard, I think it's not a bad start to start off with collaborations. Of course, besides that, we are getting our monthly login bonuses, nothing too crazy there. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Let's take a quick look at the timeline, because I think that's really interesting. I said before a few times that thanks to skipping other collaborations, Global and JP are like kinda in sync now. Again, we have like a 1-year difference with normal banners between Global and JP. I mean, the Neko Maidens were like released for the Golden Week, I think, roughly. So you can see that it pretty much lines up again. I think like around the summertime we should get summer units, stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I like that. And if we take a quick look at the timeline, here it is. We are right now at the Funidodo banner, right? The next one will be Detective Part 1. Then we have Miko 1 or 2. After that, we are supposed to getting Detective 2. And after that, there would in theory be the ReZero Part 2 rerun. Could that mean we are getting ReZero and just getting it 1 banner early? Maybe, I don't think so. Again, data speaks more towards Shield Hero. But in general speaking, if we get Shield Hero roughly the time slot where we are supposed to get collaborations, I think that's fine. That could potentially mean that, you know, from now on, every roughly 3 months, aka when a new collab happened in JP around the time slot, we're supposed to grab a new collab in Global. So, you know, let's at least I hope that is the case, because that way we would keep the timeline kind of in sync, so we have seasonal events at the right season in the global version, which is really cool. We are still getting the new cool units soon, but we're still getting the collabs. Sure, most of them could be outdated then by the point they arrive, but in the end, great collab units are still great and can be usable. Like Misaka, for example, is still a strong lightning unit. If she comes later, she's still a strong lightning unit and could see potential use. Same with Accelerator. Like right now in JP, we actually have Raygun Part 2, which means we get new ulti 1 version 2s for the old units, which could actually bring them back. Like stuff like that can happen, so I don't think it's too bad if we are actually getting collab units later, because if they are good, we still can get them later. If they're still good, they still have their specific niche use case where you can use them. And otherwise, you know, it's still collection purpose, right? It's still cool to get them, it's still cool to collect them if you want to do that. So depending on what your preferences are, you can still enjoy the collaborations. You can at least, worst case, still grab few free quads, free pulls, stuff like that, and use them on whatever banner you want to use them on if you don't care about collaborations. So in the end, hopefully all people should be happy, besides maybe the whales who now need to spend more money because Collab Units. And, you know, if they're gone for good. Unless they get a rerun, but we can't really calculate for it because who would have thought that Reagan gets a part 2? Let's be really here. No one thought that Reagan would get a part 2, so, yeah, it's always a surprise. It's always nice to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. TLDR again, we are getting Detective Komekkos, we are getting Neko Miko, Yunyun Chris. We're supposed to get Detective Lalisa, but she's not coming this month. We are instead getting Coming Soon, which teases to be a collab. Collab seems to be a Shield hero, but it's not confirmed yet. We have to wait and see. And I'm just happy with that, okay? So that's it for the video. If you like it, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, follow for more content. If you are really generous, also maybe follow me on Twitch there, because some sessions soon for Funny Dude and other stuff will be really POC. Of course, also stream on YouTube and stuff like that. If you want to support what I'm doing, feel free to become a member to get awesome benefits like special Discord roles, shoutouts and stuff like that, if we actually get people to, you know, jump in the tier. And last but not least, you know, donos are also there, but to be honest, just watching, liking, commenting in the videos also helps me out so much. Thank you for that. Have a nice day, and, you know, enjoy the upcoming collab. See you in the next one. Bye!
だから一緒に行きましょう